Hey guys, I know Black History Month is almost over, but I have something special for you guys. First of all, I want to say that, it's good to celebrate where we came from and what, even our current state and where we are headed. But today we're looking at a very interesting spin on this one, and I hope that you're going to be blessed. We're looking at Martin Luther King's dream versus God's dream, right? Now already you know God's dream is going to win already, but maybe you don't share that perspective just as yet. And so today I hope to just walk you through comparing the great dream of Martin Luther King and God's dream. God's dream. I hope you like this one. Let's roll the intro. Martin Luther King Jr. had a senior dream, a dream so big that it transcends all cultures and races and everything in between. It was really a dream rooted in the American dream, so he said. But really, the dream itself was grafted in God's dream. And I'm not putting Martin Luther's words in his mouth. I'm just reading his speech. It's so amazing. When you read Martin Luther's speech, there's a portion that says this, and I quote. It says that one day every valley shall be exalted, every hill and mountain shall be made low.
I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted. Every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is a faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
See, Luther said, this is our hope. Luther said, this is the hope that I hope that you go home with. Luther knew that the American dream was cool, but God's dream was even better. That God's dream was the dream that really ruled the world. It is God's dream that inspired MLK's dream. It is God's dream that inspired Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream. But that quote is actually taken from the book of Isaiah. Now, of course, we know that Martin Luther King Jr. was a Baptist preacher. But even without that, let's just look at the quote from Isaiah 40, from 4 to 5. And there it says, every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain and hill shall be made low, and the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough places plain, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together, for the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. Isn't that wonderful? Luther, as he fought for civil rights to be able to, have the same access as everybody else, Luther contemplates and looks forward to. His movement is propelled or is inspired by the greatest thing that will happen at the end of time, which is the blessed hope. See, Luther said this is the hope that you go home with, but Luther knew that there's a blessed hope, and that hope is nothing other than the coming of Jesus Christ himself. When all flesh will see him together, he says, behold, he cometh in the clouds, and every eye will see him. See, there's so much advancement that has been going on with Black culture or with any other civil rights issue to this day. But Martin Luther King Jr. knows or knew that the blessed hope that will fix all these things is the return of Jesus Christ. Now, according to Jesus Christ says that things will continue to get worse and worse. Jesus Christ does not promise, I repeat, Jesus Christ does not promise that things will get better on this earth. Jesus Christ warned his disciples and the followers of those disciples afterwards, and those who hear from the disciples afterwards, that they will be persecuted, that they'll be hated by the world because they hated Jesus Christ. And so we can say, yes, there will be some sort of normalcy, normal barbaric acts like slavery and all those things. But, and of course that was God's justice, because God had to intervene in a special way and save his people like he always does. But God promises us that the only perfect time we can think of, the only utopia that we can dream of, is when he returns to cleanse this world, to take his people home, and to destroy sin and sinners. Those who abused other people will then be punished. Those who are the chief of discrimination will then be dealt with. It's not like God doesn't care about what's going on in this world. He does, but he does in his time. There's a set time for judgment, and all we have to do right now is live the best we can, and obviously stand for justice, because God hates injustice. But the greatest time when all these things will be fixed is his return. And so God calls all of us, black, white, or races. He says in Isaiah chapter 64, "For since the beginning of the world, men have not heard, nor perceived by the ear, neither hath the eye seen, O God, beside thee, what he hath prepared for him that waits for him." See, God is preparing something. He's preparing something for all of us if we accept him. And this is the greatest utopia of all time. He said, "Let not your heart be troubled. Believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. But I go to prepare a place for you, that where I am, there you may be also." That is the greatest hope that we can look forward to and implement and exemplify in our lives. That as it is in heaven, so it should be on earth. So it should be in our lives. So Martin Luther King Jr. had a great dream that there will be equality of everybody. But the truth is that that dream is not being fulfilled in this day, because we are told that men will continue to hate one another. Jesus Christ says, "Because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold." We're told that in the last days men shall be lovers of themselves. There'll be hate, there'll be hatred, and there'll be all sorts of crazy things like we see today. I'm not making these things up. You can verify. But we can look forward with hope to the second coming of Jesus Christ. And whatever happens today, we know will be brought up in the great judgment that will take place of all the inhabitants of this world, those who have lived and died and those who are present right now. And so I hope that you would, of course, embrace what Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream said, that there has to be non-discrimination. You cannot discriminate against another person just because of their race or just because of how they look. But at the same time, we have to also embrace God's dream, because it is what inspired Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream. And God's dream is bigger, broader, better, and brighter. So we have to embrace this dream, which says that God is preparing a place for us, and he doesn't want you to miss. To God, you are so precious and of inestimable value to him. And the very fact that Jesus Christ came to die for you means that he saw something precious in you. Obviously not of you, but something that he, the Creator, put in you. That's what he's after. And so he wants you to be his child and to love him as a father. Yes, there will be a time of peace, but not on this world. There will never be a time of peace on this world. We can always dream about peace on this world, equality on this world. Yes, maybe a greater number of people may adhere to these principles, but there will always be others who don't, just because they don't have those values of righteousness in them. Because the issue at hand here is not about just racism or any other classism or discrimination or all these things. The issue here is sin versus righteousness, good versus evil, and these are at a conflict. These two principles, these not just principles now, but these two protagonists, Jesus Christ, the greatest king, and Lucifer, the greatest adversary, there is a conflict. And we are also involved in this battle. And so we have to choose our side. And I choose today to be on the Lord's side because His dream is bigger, brighter, and better. And I hope that you choose the same as well. Thank you guys, and happy Black History Month. It's almost over, but anyways, I had to say it. So thank you guys.